Are we there?
We're recording.
Hello!
I just blasted the mic yet again.
Yes, you always do that.
You'll have to speak loudly. This is a little bit farther away than... Well, it's got pretty good
Camera's
audio.
way over there!
Yeah, we're broadcasting from a different location, if you can't tell, from the last time.
We are in the Rip Cave. Welcome to my humble abode.
He's not hanging upside down right now.
A new challenge.
But I am in my pajama pants, in case you're wondering.
A new challenger approaches. So, I suppose we shall introduce ourselves before getting started, because we usually we go like halfway and then introduce ourselves.
Yeah, because you guys already don't know us. Well, you may not know some of us.
I'm Wizard. I'm Cal.
I'm Gale.
And I'm Rip.
Like I said, you should go outside to do that. I'm gonna keep making that joke until like
it's not funny to say.
You're gonna keep making that joke until I slap you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do it.
And then I'll do it again.
Do it.
That's it.
Do it. Give in to your hate.
Alright.
Let's go with your feelings.
Well, the reason we're here in the Bat Cave and
Go ahead.
sorry. It had to be made. I gotta stop making jokes like this. Is because so recently we've had this infestation, according to our school newspaper, of bats in some of the dorms. Hathorn being the main one.
I heard there was one in McCain as well.
McCain?
Yeah, the engineering building.
Okay, there's bats in every building on campus. There just are. There's bats all over the place. They're here. They like warm, dry places. Buildings kind of are warm, dry places.
Bats are like birds. They can fly. They can get anywhere. And if it's open and it's warm and it's dry and it's fairly, protected, they're going to sleep there, You can't blame if you leave the area open, you can't blame them for crawling inside to have a nap.
So this all started with a dead bat, first of all. I did a little bit more research into this. They found a dead bat in the hallway in Hathorn. This is where this all started. And now they're running this like full-scale investigation into the bats.
Bats? Yes, bats?
And they're making...
Where did they come from?
Oh my God, they're gonna get in my hand! They have rabies!
No, they don't.
Oh no! Don't lie to me, they have rabies!
Anyway,
Monsters with disease.
So they're making it sound like there's a plague of zombies.
Damn it is.
And
it's the zombie apocalypse. Finally, it's just in an unexpected form.
it's a little late for the apocalypse, don't you think?
We ended the apocalypse.
Yeah. My apocalypse was quite nice. I slept most of the way through it, actually.
No, that guy, the bath salts guy who was eating the face off of somebody else, he was a zombie. It's just that we were so prepared that they just killed the first zombie and then nothing happened.
Oh.
The zombie stuff.
So anyway, the newspaper, our newspaper, The Reflector, is written by a bunch of frat girls, or frat guys and sorority girls. And so, yeah, I don't know why I said frat. Anyway, I don't do the whole Greek thing. So you start giving me weird letters, and I don't know what the hell you're talking
In a
about.
completely off-topic interjection, last semester my old roommate told me that one of his friends had called frat guys fraggots. And it's like, if we can call them that, can we call sorority girls sororitudes?
Sorostitutes.
Sororities.
Well, that's the whole, there's tons and tons of Tri-Delta people, and the joke is Tri-Delta, who hasn't?
I get it. I see what you did there. I'm watching it.
Yeah. So, but I really don't, I don't give a crap about the whole frat sorority thing, because I don't have time for all that crap.
Apparently,
I'm not interested in it at all.
I don't have time. I'm a forestry major. We have work to do.
Engineering student, I have work to do, yet I am in Theta Tau, in a professional engineering fraternity.
See, that's different. That's
though.
like that's more like an
not-
honor society
It's,
sort of.
yeah, it's not like one of those just social ones.
Yeah, that's actually useful. You know, that actually
Yeah.
sounds good on your resume.
Because there's one
Yes.
for forestry too, but yeah, it doesn't interest me. I don't know. But so the bats here are like, there's no more bats than there ever were.
Right.
It's just that suddenly we found them.
And suddenly somebody finds one
And
freaks out. And now there's reports of seeing them everywhere. All of a sudden. Which
What you don't
doesn't
know.
make any sense.
What you don't know can't teach you.
Actually,
How many times
How
do you think someone's got buzzed by like a sparrow or
And
something
like,
like that? Yeah, exactly.
I
yeah.
have yet to see any
Me either.
bats.
I used to see them all the time out by my by the pool at my house. But I've never seen one here.
We saw them all the time out on the farm, and sometimes you see them like hanging on stuff in the middle of the day, where they got stranded, and you leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone.
Well, that's what it's like. That and people say, "Oh, they have rabies." There has not been a single case of rabies in Mississippi for 30 years. Rabies is eradicated in Mississippi. There is no rabies in Mississippi.
For the time being.
If you get bit by a bat, you're not going to get rabies. You may get like an infection, but you can get an infection from being bitten by anything.
Even people.
Even people. So actually, people probably have worse mouths. I've seen some.
Mythbusters prove that
The dog's mouth
Yeah,
is
dog's mouth is
cleaner.
cleaner than a person's mouth.
Yes. But it's just like, it's going to crawl under my door and bite me.
Okay, all mammals can contract rabies. However, even the less than 0.5% of bats that do contract the disease will normally only bite in self-defense. I have a little information booklet here, helpful facts about bats from an organization called Bat International. Bat Conservation International. You can find them on Facebook, or you can find them at batcon.org. It's a great website. You can go and find all kinds of helpful tips about bats. And really, this is a really bad time to be wailing on the bats, because a lot of the bat species in America right now are really endangered. There's a horrible disease called white nose syndrome that's like sweeping through them. And it's like just devastating the American bat populations. And this is serious stuff, because if you don't care for any other reason, listen. If the bats go, say goodbye to tequila. Bats are the main pollinators of agave plants, which is where tequila comes from. You can say goodbye to your shooters. Just say it.
And you can say hello to Godzilla-sized mosquitoes.
Yes.
We have enough big mosquitoes in Mississippi to last us quite a while. We don't need to be killing off one of their main predators.
Yeah.
What was it we saw on the sign the other day? Like one bat in one night can like eat like 9,000 mosquitoes, or like 6,000 mosquitoes or something of that nature.
A bat can eat about 1,000 mosquitoes per hour. I know that.
And they says the sign said something like per night it was like 6,000 or something like that. It was ridiculous. Like one bat that you can leave alone, it won't bother you, or 6,000 mosquitoes. Take your pick. I'd rather have the bat.
Me too. Oh yeah, I think that's cool anyway. I mean, even beside that, I like that. So
mosquitoes will give you, mosquitoes will contract. You can contract like ridiculous diseases like malaria.
Oh yeah,
West Nile.
West Nile.
Because people are saying that bats carry disease. Oh god.
Not
as you were saying,
to the point that mosquitoes
it's
do.
It's not bad at all with the bats. Mosquitoes, we know they carry malaria and whatnot.
And it's diseases like malaria and West Nile
In
will kill you.
Mississippi, we have mosquitoes all over the place, especially during summer. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't.
I'd rather have bats.
I'd rather have the bats. I like to have the bats around. I don't want mosquitoes in the dorm.
I agree completely.
But they've installed these little things where they can fly in. They can fly out of the building, but they can't fly back in. So they're trying to get them to I guess, fly out during the
Yeah.
night, and then they can't fly back in. But they're gonna end up getting back in the same way. I mean, they always. That's stupid.
Who was it? Someone said the other day, would you rather have bat-sized mosquitoes or mosquito-sized bats?
Yeah. Oh, it was one of the people we were hanging out with.
Was it Bradley?
No. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Was it? Was it?
It was Bradley.
I didn't think it was, I guess.
Well, there are bumblebee-sized bats. The bumblebee bat, they're adorable. They'll sit on the end of your.
See,
That's cute.
I like the big ones, flying foxes.
Yes, the flying foxes have a 6-foot wingspan. They're awesome.
And they're so cute.
I think it was.
They are really
Bradley.
cute. Like you have to go look up like a picture of a flying fox. They're adorable. You just can't you just look up a face shot and you just want to go, oh. They're really cute.
They are.
It's true, they are.
No comment.
I actually purchased this recently, and if you guys can see it, it's a Chinese good luck bat.
Lower it
pendant.
down a little bit.
Lower.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. So, it's a Chinese good luck bat pendant. It's awesome.
Is that one dead?
So.
Um,
Bat pride.
Or is that
well,
that's
you
a
know,
kite?
you're a little
Okay,
biased.
that's a kite.
Well, yes,
I was
okay.
getting worried there.
Just because my persona is half bat, it doesn't necessarily.
That makes you the expert.
It's racism. They're trying to keep us out of the colleges. Discrimination.
Yes, discrimination. Why are you rubbing his back?
Because he was weeping. I was comforting him.
I
Okay.
was weeping, apparently. I wasn't even aware of this.
You were weeping.
I was weeping on the inside.
Oh, it's like the whole bat thing, like, and it's reminiscent of just total like other things, like snakes. I'm a big fan of snakes. You know, he likes his bats, like I like my snakes.
Yeah, and I'm cool with snakes.
And people will go like, "Oh, the only good snake is a dead snake."
No,
I will disagree with you
they're an important predator.
because
and
in you know one night, a snake can prevent the birth of 16,000 rats.
would you rather rats
A rat can
into your
reproduce
house and
once every 2 weeks.
eating on your food and stuff, or would you rather a
Would
snake
you
who actually
rather-
doesn't bother you unless you get too close to it? I mean, naturally you want to, you know,
Snakes
respect
are
wild
more
animals
afraid of
anyway.
you than you are of them.
This is true.
It's true.
They don't.
And anybody who tells you they chase you
Is a liar.
Is a liar. There have been cases where yes, a snake has gone toward a person. However, in most cases, if that person moved to the side, you would find that there's a hole behind them. They're just trying to get to a place where they can hide, and you're just in the way. But you have to realize that, especially if they're backed into a corner and they have no way out. But most of them, there was a guy who conducted a research study. He caught 50 live wild water moccasins, cottonmouths, out of the wild, you know, out of swamps. He took them all back to this camp basically, dumped them all out, and just took, you know, knee highs and walked through them. How many of them you think bit him? Not a single one. Not a single one. And then, as he stirred him up a bit, he stirred him up a bit, and then he would walk through and he'd step on them. How many? Only 2 struck at him out of 50. And he stepped on them. So they're not going to just strike just because they'd rather conserve that venom, because venom is very expensive to make. You have to have a lot of energy and a lot of food to make venom. And so they're not going to strike at you if they can avoid it.
Yeah.
Because they know you're bigger than them. And the venom can do all it wants. It's going to kill you later, but it's not going to keep the snake safe from you eating it or trampling on it, because obviously it has to have time to work. But it really, venom is not meant to be a defense mechanism. It is meant to be a hunting technique, a hunting mechanism. Mm-hmm. And most
people
of
are
them,
not snake food.
Look, about 90% of venomous snake bites are dry bites. That proves it. Most of them are dry bites. And then 85% of all snake bites occur while trying to catch or kill a snake. You piss it off, you mess with it, you grab it, of course it's going to strike. That's its last mechanism, you know. It can't get away, then it's going to strike.
But that's proof that it's evil. See, everyone knows that human beings are...
Let me step on you and try to chop your head off.
Human beings are at the top of the food chain. All animals should naturally lay down before us and wait to be slaughtered and then feasted upon. That is the circle of life.
No. We have these things like venom and poison and spines and... Oh my gosh. Hold up. Let me go find the... Go get the trifoliate orange.
Oh, Lord. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm not a human.
Humans? Where are these human things you speak of?
What are these humans you speak of?
Umans? What are umans?
Okay.
What's all these?
Go ahead and hold that up
humans?
a little bit. Okay, this is trifoliate orange. Look at those spines. We found this the other day.
Hello,
Actually,
murder
like that spine is
Nice to meet
as
you.
long as his finger. It is very sharp.
It's also known as Japanese hardy orange. People plant this in their garden to like repel cat burglars, and it works.
Yeah, of course it does.
I wonder why. That's quite the menacing plant.
What do they also
that's
call
like,
it?
It's
Like
just-
barbed wire.
The thorn is as big as my freaking pinky. Okay, that's a big ass thorn.
I fondly refer to this plant as murderberry.
Murderberry?
No. Oh, God! Die!
Ow.
No.
Don't blast out my microphone now. Yeah, so like I have a branch of it too in my room, just because it looks cool. But I mean, you could literally like kill somebody with that thing. Just goes to show you that there's a lot of defense mechanisms out there. But you're more likely to die from a bee sting, or actually, you're more likely to die from having a vending machine fall on you than you are from a snake bite.
I didn't know a lot of people died from vending machines falling on them.
Well, only 2 people last year died from snake bites in the United States.
How many people died from a vending
There are
machine?
many snake bites, but only 2 people died.
Yeah, I was gonna say how many people have died from a vending machine falling on them.
Equipment now.
But I'm still wondering about the vending machine.
And they were both
That's
Western
not
Diamondback
interesting.
fights. And Western Diamondback has some pretty nasty venom.
Would you
I-
want to explain the vending
But
machine?
if you think about the Diamondbacks, though, you had this thing called the Rattlesnake roundups.
Yeah.
Guess what? Both of the bite victims that died were doing. Trying to catch them.
I'm sorry, I have to say this. Because I can see the documentary now. You know, like people in an office building going to the lounge area and putting in their dollar to, you know, to get their honey bun. And then, yes,
strikes.
the wild vending machine, you know, waits patiently for its prey to approach. And then it strikes.
Well, vending machine uses
Okay,
tackle.
you know those people. You know how like something gets stuck in that vending machine and pisses you off, so you shake it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people pull, and then the vending machine comes down on them and crushes them. And it happens all the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that happening.
It almost happened to somebody at my school. They were trying to
That's
pull
a
on a vending
stupid
machine, and it started falling, and like 6 people jumped up and grabbed it. But I mean,
I never pull on it. You bang on it, but don't pull on it.
Yeah.
It's just stupidity.
Only a dumbass would do something like that.
That's asking for it to fall over.
yeah, it's stupid. And people will like, and they don't realize how heavy those things are.
I can imagine maybe a kid doing it. Because I saw a kid one time, like, his mother had loaded a grocery cart up with all this stuff, and he tried to, like, climb up the side of it and, like, hang on it like a monkey. And the thing fell over and, like, body slammed him to the floor. And then, you know, he's screaming and squalling there, you know, in the middle of Walmart, and, you know, and, like, groceries everywhere. And I'm like...
Control your child.
People
Exactly.
are stupid.
It's like, control your child. Control your child. Or,
I wasn't that stupid as a kid. What happened?
I was smart. I was a smart kid. That's what got me in trouble. Because I was smarter than a lot of my teachers and a lot of the people who were in authority positions. I was already smarter than by like the time I was like 10. So it was just like, yeah, I don't subscribe to your false idea of authority just because you're older than me. I'm smarter than you'll ever be. So, you know, age has nothing to do with authority. to me. But that's just me. But I was an ass about it too. Like,
You are a very like sort of anarchist, you know, though.
I am though, but I'm also very independent as to the way the way I operate is on an independent level. I take care of me. I will deal with me. You deal with you. If you want to deal with me, you have to go through me.
What kills me is bureaucracy. It's not the cops and law enforcement so much as it's paper pushers like you go to one office, they tell you one thing, you go and do what they do, and then you take it to another office and you didn't do this. Well, they didn't tell me how to do it. Well, that's not our fault. It's one of those things where one hand never knows what the other hand is doing.
Yeah.
If there's anything being here at college has taught me, it's that almost no one knows what's going on. Everyone concentrates on their own little corner of the world. And if you try to leave one corner and go into another corner of the world, well, you can't do that. It's like they don't know our rules. You have to follow our rules here. The rules that you're used to don't apply here. It's like Disneyland. Don't leave your designated area. Don't ruin the illusion.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin the magic.
I find it interesting how we got to this from bats, but okay.
Yeah, I told you these things ramble.
Oh yeah, but that's part of the fun of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, my thoughts on cops.
Yes, we know your thoughts on cops.
I don't like them. And I like messing with them because I can.
Champagne.
Now,
I'm sorry. Sorry, wizard. You should get like a tiny little cop outfit. And,
Like a skimpy, sexy cop outfit.
Yeah, a skimpy, sexy cop outfit. Like one of those, like a male meter maid with the little short shorts.
That would be cute. That would be cute. I'd have to admit. Good cop, bad cop.
I'm sure maybe Fantasyland has something like that, but that'd be.
They do, but they're always pricey though.
Yeah. Online.
Hey, that's a good idea. Like we should have a raffle for some handcuffs or something that our viewers can win.
Fuzzy handcuffs.
We should probably get off this topic.
I'm sorry for making you uncomfortable.
We're scaring away our viewers.
We're scaring
All
away the
10
one
of them.
straight guy. We're scaring the one straight guy here.
I'm okay.
Poor straight guy. Oh, and he's sitting between a bi dude and a gay dude.
I love you too. In a completely non-homo way. No homo.
No homo. All the homo.
I'm waving affection towards you from over here. It's drifting off me like steam.
It's kind of hot in here. I
that
might
is
just
stink.
be completely embarrassed.
I'm showered.
Sorry.
No, I'm fine.
I have a comment
Ooh.
from Defiance because I commented on her journal.
Oh.
And what does the lovely Defiance say?
Well, let's see. I left a comment on her journal, and then Eshore commented on my comment. And then I replied, and then Defiance replied to my reply to Eshore's comment on my comment.
Well, explain it.
Okay, I'll start from the top. I said how me and Gail are going and actually driving RIP to FW. It was asking who else going to FWA.
Ah, okay.
And so I said that, and then Eshore was like, I know, thanks for doing that too. I can't wait to see his derp face. It'll be great to meet the two of you as well. God,
Derp?
March needs to hurry and get here already. Yeah, he said derp.
You call me derp face?
Capital DERP.
Have you looked in a mirror, Eshore? I have derp face.
Anyway, I was like, Giggles, you're welcome. We enjoy helping out friends. I can't wait to meet you either. He's mentioned you and Defiance and whatnot several times. I haven't read Defiance's comments yet. And she said, it'll be great to finally meet you in person, Wizard. I've heard all sorts of great things about how much Rip enjoys hanging out with you.
Oh,
Yes.
Poor
You
cow.
say good things about us.
And then in reply to East Shore, she had said, oh, Rip has a derp face? Oh.
I do not have a derp face.
Poor cow.
My head is not that big.
Shut up. I can't help it if I can't find a hat that fits.
Oh, poor you.
Oh,
we just got one done watching Invader Zim, so...
Yes.
That's why.
Dib and his freakishly large head. Listen, by the way, I am looking for a good haberdashery. For those of you who don't know, a haberdashery is a store that specializes in hats. If any of you know of a good haberdashery in Mississippi, please comment and let me know. Thank you.
Yes, because he needs a hat for his freakishly large head.
Poor Cal lacks the funds to
I
go
know
to
where you
FWA.
Yeah, but you can't get in there without a key card.
True. But my bat minions can.
No, they can't either. The door is kind of like on the ground.
Bat minions.
That's another thing. I mentioned
He
the
needs
fact
a
that people
Batman
were
suit.
scared of the bats going underneath their doors.
Oh yeah, the doors are like this against the bottom.
Yeah, you
It's
can't.
like there's no room underneath it.
There's no room under
As
the
he
door.
said
Okay.
once, you can't even slide a sheet of paper under it.
The specialty of bats is in hanging upside down,
Don't worry.
taking off, taking flight, coming back to their roost, and then assuming the hanging position again. When a bat is on the ground, it's bad at crawling around, okay? Crawling around on wings is just very awkward to do. If a bat is on the ground, it's pretty much helpless unless it can find something tall enough to crawl up
If
and
it's
fly.
if it's in a big group in a cave, if it's on the ground, it's a dead bat because of the beetles.
Yes.
Um,
But I mean, okay.
Beetles will
Now
try.
maybe your body is tall enough for the bat to climb up and try to, get some lift. But unless you stand there screaming like an idiot, no, the bat wouldn't even come near you if you're standing there screaming like an idiot. If you're standing there frozen with fear and you can't even move as the bat climbs up your body just to climb up to your head and try to take off. It's not going to try to drag you
Yeah.
with it, I guarantee.
It won't be able to anyway.
That's like-
I mean, the bat's not gonna
Even
hurt
if it managed to lift off with you and took you home, its mother would not let it keep you. You're just too
Can we keep
ugly.
it, mommy? Can we keep it?
Nor
No,
will it
it's
try
ugly.
to eat your mortal soul.
Oh, no. Okay, some people have nightmares about bats. Bats have nightmares about Ozzy Osbourne.
That's horrible. That's horrible. No, the thing is, he didn't know that was a real bat when he did that. He thought it was like one of
a
those
rubber,
fake
yeah.
rubber.
People
you
used
know?
to throw the rubbers and then
Yeah.
somebody,
Threw a
threw
real one.
Yeah, and just.
And so right after the concert, Sharon took him to the doctors.
Oh, God.
You know.
Well, you bite the head off a real bat. I mean, good lord. I'd go to the doctor too.
Somebody tried to emulate a stunt he did with fake ants. Except for they tried it with real ants, and they tried to snort ants. And they ended up
Oh, I've
dying.
seen that on A Thousand Ways to
Thousand Ways to
Die.
Yeah, yeah, that actually happened.
Did the ants like?
They they stung and bit them, and then it all swelled up and
Yeah.
they died.
He couldn't breathe.
Asphyxiation.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't snort ants.
Moral
It's a really
of the story.
dumb thing to do. Like,
Oh yeah.
why am I even having to warn? Like, okay,
Who would do that?
there's a bunch of these really stupid warnings, like the warnings on plastic boxes not to put your baby in there.
Yeah. Okay. The dipping sticks powder.
Mm-hmm.
There was a school recently that caught its kids trying to smoke and snort dipping sticks powder.
How do you
Why?
smoke it, first of all?
It's
Second
like
of
pure
all,
sugar.
why would
You
do
put it in a pipe and you try to light it and you puff on it. That's how you
Does that even work?
No, it doesn't.
Pure
But they were
sugar.
trying it. So the school has now banned any candy that is in powder form or can be crushed into a powder.
Yeah, because a lot of people do that with the Smarties and like snort them or just like inhale them and then
That
puff
sounds
them
like
out.
it'd be painful. I know somebody who tried to crush up Smarties and snort it, and he ended up with a really bad nosebleed.
So, like
But mainly what I've seen is they'll do that and then they'll inhale it and then puff it
It's
out.
more painful.
some guy in a trench coat's gonna come up to you.
Hold up, pause that thought. Pause that thought. He just said it is painful, like he knows from experience.
And then I said Kool-Aid is more painful.
There you go, kids. Remember, always use condoms. I don't know. Anyway, continue your thoughts.
No, I was just.
Oh, yeah,
I can see it now. A guy in a trench coat coming up to some kids and, hey kids, you want to buy some sweet tarts? Yeah, so this will get you high.
Talk about strange warning labels though. Evidently, Gail pointed this out to me once, I think probably last semester, or early this semester, I can't remember. Evidently, on a box of Q-tips, it can be just generic Q-tips. It doesn't have to be Q-tip brand Q-tips.
Yeah.
It says, do not use in your ear. Like, legit.
That's like the main
they're-
thing
they're
people
really-
use Q-tips for.
I know,
Yeah.
but they're really not meant to be used in your ear.
I know, but that's what everyone uses.
I know, so
I know.
it's like do not use in your ear. Everybody uses them in their ear.
I know.
It's funny.
You're technically not supposed to have anything in your ear bigger than your pinky.
It's a Q-tip though. It's
I know.
smaller.
Just
Not
if you have to
or
use
smaller,
it,
sorry.
go around
Smaller
the
than
opening, but do not go near your eardrum. Because one time I stuck one in too far and I scratched the surface of my eardrum, and it caused a very bad infection. So just wipe around the little hole. Don't stick it in. Okay, that's just dab, kids. Just dab.
Use just
And if
really that's what she said.
if your sibling happens to have a Q-tip in the ear, don't run up and slap it really hard
Oh,
to go
gosh.
in.
Who would do that?
I heard a story of like some little kid when his brother was doing that came out and
He
slapped
would go
it.
deaf.
Yeah, he went deaf in that ear. He went
Yeah.
deaf. The kid didn't, you know.
Horrible.
You know how kids are. They do stuff like that. They don't think about long-term consequences.
I do.
I would know better than to
I was not that
Shove
stupid
it.
as a kid.
Q-tips.
We were talking about bizarre warning labels. There was a friend of mine. We used to go and we would laugh at all these like really bizarre warning labels that you would see on some products. Like if it had a plastic bag and it would show, you know, like a plastic bag over your head and, you know, like a do not symbol. And, you know, like, why would someone even do that in the first place?
The warning's
You
there
know?
because someone has done it.
Yeah, right,
That's
right.
the sad
But then
thing.
we were buying plastic containers, and it showed like someone putting a child in this plastic container
And shutting the lid.
shutting the lid, and it's like a do not sign. And I'm like, oh, I guess you're not supposed to use this as a child coffin.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But no, according to 1,000 Ways to Die, evidently on lawnmowers, or at least some, I don't know, there's a warning that you're not supposed to use it for cutting your hair. No duh.
Oh, I love the guy who tried to iron his shirt while he was still wearing it.
Oh,
and
I
ended up
didn't
like
see
giving
that.
himself like terrible burns. 1,000 Ways to Die, but this guy actually tried it.
That's
Yeah.
stupid. Why would you do that?
Oh no! Great story. Someone bought a sex toy, and they were. It was a normal sex toy, and they wanted a motorized toy, but they were too cheap to buy one, so they had a motorized saw, and they thought, okay, I'll just put the sex toy over the saw blade, and then it'll be motorized. And then they went to use it in the bedroom. Only thing is, saws are sharp, and the blades go very fast, and most sex toys are basically, you know, PVC composite, you know, material. Yeah, it cut through PVC pretty quickly and right into flesh, so...
Ow.
Yes. Yes.
Ow.
I don't want to even think about that.
Or no, how about the guy who saw an ad in the paper for penis enlargement and went to an address in a very,
Shady.
very shady area. A woman had,
Oh yeah.
I believe it was caulk, like you use in like home repair. She injected caulk directly into
his cock.
Yeah, she put caulk in his cock, and it caused a massive blood clot, and he died. Okay, massive
He died
blood
of a
clot
huge
in your
penis,
penis is one of the most terrible ways on the planet you could possibly die. These people.
Don't think.
The woman who thought cruise control. She bought this brand new, really expensive RV. Okay, she thought cruise control was autopilot. She went to the back and to make a sandwich, and the RV wrecked. And it was like.
Oh no!
And then she lived, but she tried to sue.
I was in.
No, that's stupidity on your part. No one said that cruise control is.
You know what's worse? The RV company settled.
Oh god.
Why? There's no way she could have won
motor vehicle companies don't like going to court. It looks bad, so they just settle. But and then they started in the manual. They started putting cruise control is not autopilot. Like,
I was in Lowe's and a woman came in and asked if she could buy wireless lights. And the man said, "Do you mean lights that operate on a battery, ma'am?" And she said, "No, just lights that I can hang up and it'll beam the electricity to them."
no,
You can't fix stupid.
Huh?
You can't fix stupid.
You can't fix stupid. No.
Oh, speaking of Lowe's stories, my dad worked at Lowe's at one point, and evidently someone came in and asked him basically what to do about having a removable stripper pole in his apartment or whatever. Like what to use to make one. I'm like,
I saw this picture. It was a meme and it said "can't fix stupid" at the bottom. You know those people who wear their cap backwards? There was this one guy. He was watching this game and he was doing this.
His cap's back.
Yeah.
His cap's backwards. Can't fix stupid.
he's wearing a hat
With a
with a brim
He's
on
wearing
it.
it backwards, and so he's doing. It's like what?
That's not what that's for. It's so you can keep the sun out of your eyes. That's what the visor's for.
There was a woman, her car battery died. So the unlock button would not work on the car door. She called 911, panicking, saying that she was trapped inside of her car. And the 911 operator told her to look up and look for a small switch, or, you know.
You smell like...
Yeah, the little pull tab that's near the windowsill. The one, you know, the one that always unlocks the door manually. Yes. So he actually had to talk her through pulling this tab so that she could get out of her own car.
We are so dependent on
Yes.
like technology
Once again,
now.
you cannot fix stupid.
Like you
People
have to be
are
able
so
to do things
retarded
manually.
nowadays. I mean, as I was saying earlier, I was never that stupid as a little kid. I mean, what happened, people? What happened?
People don't have to do things for themselves, and so they forget how to do things. If you don't use it, you lose it. I mean,
It is true.
that's why I can't play guitar anymore, because I didn't use it, so I lost it.
Yeah.
I know, but that's like did they just not use their brain at all?
Evidently, I mean,
Just not
we
even
don't.
touch
I mean,
it?
we have like smartphones to look things up instead of an encyclopedia. Like, do you think that the average person you do teaching? Can the average person that you've experienced accurately use an encyclopedia?
I know.
If you gave them a quiz on find me something in this section, blah blah blah, in an encyclopedia, and write me a little paragraph about it.
What's an
Could they do it?
encyclopedia?
if they did,
Exactly.
if they did find it, it would be almost word for word because
They can't write it themselves.
yeah, they can't comprehend. They can't put something into context. It confuses them, so they
I
just.
never plagiarize. I know how to take the information. Sometimes I can't find a better wording, so it's close, but I never plagiarize, and I understand what I'm talking about.
Well, the thing is, it depends on what subject you want them to write on. If it's something that they don't, some things you have like a basic understanding of the way the world in general works, so you're able to put something in context. A lot of these kids these days, they don't know basic science, they don't even know basic English. So it's very difficult for them to put something into context that they can understand and put it in their own words. If you don't understand something, you're not going to be able to put it in your own words.
Oh, yeah.
You're just going to have to, write what's there. So when a kid gives you like an almost word for word exact copy of what's in the book, you have a pretty good idea that they did not understand something.
Right.
And it's sad how often that happens.
Basically, when you do that, you need to either find someone to help you or just do further research so you understand it. I mean, that's what I do. If I don't understand something, I'll ask someone who I think will. By the way, Defiance says hi.
Hi, Defiance. Or no. Yo.
Yo. Yo. You're too white.
I don't know any of you.
Don't mock me.
I'm gonna mock you. I just can't help it. Sorry.
Yes, I'm white. I'm mostly Irish, German, and English. I can't help it. I've got a smidge of Choctaw and probably some Romany in me.
I have absolutely no Native American in me.
Me neither, not that.
My lineage is Czechoslovakian Hungarian.
Do you want me to go through the list of stuff that I have?
No, but you can.
Okay. Let's see. Scottish, Irish, Welsh, French, German, Czech, and either part Czech or Jew. Not sure which of them. But yeah. I'm basically a mutt.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not Jewish.
No.
Mostly Italian and German, and for me.
Oh, the Italian. Are you part of the mafia? I actually knew a guy named Guido, and he was very mafia looking. Like, he looked like he should be in the mafia. Guy's name was Guido. He, like, yeah, seriously, Guido.
The guys that obviously look like they should be in the mafia are probably not in the mafia.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, he looked like he should be, but, you know. The mafia still exists. Oh, geocaching. I don't know if you're familiar with geocaching.
I've got a story.
There's a group in Starkville.
Yep.
It's called the Starkville Mafia. And they hide some pretty crazy caches. Very, very, very good at hiding them. But
You know what?
we use multi-million-dollar satellites to find Tupperware in the woods.
Yep. You know Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
Some chick named Starchild at Comic-Con came up to him because he saw the geocaching button he had on his head.
He has a geocache?
Yeah, he does. And started talking to him about the Starkville Mafia. And I was just like, I didn't know anybody goes by the name Starchild anymore. Okay then.
There are still hippies in the world.
Yeah.
They mostly keep to themselves inside of communes. Yes.
I was just like, okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna stand here and feel awkward about this now.
I'm gonna have to take you geocaching sometime. It's
That's
fun.
like me too.
Yeah. We can all go geocaching.
I went with some friends, and it was the friend whose idea it was. It didn't work out for him. It was his idea. I ended up finding 2. His girlfriend found 1, and he found absolutely none.
Sad
So,
face.
Yeah, we'll have to go find the minis. Starkville Mafia is notorious for their micro caches. And they are very small. They're very, very hard to find. We'll have to go and see if we can't find one.
Most of the ones we found were only about yay big, like a tube, fit in the palm of your hand. They would.
Don't you? If you take one, you have to replace it with something.
No, they're containers. If you take
Okay.
something inside the container, you have to
Okay.
replace it with
Okay.
something. Sometimes the containers don't have anything in them.
Yeah, a lot of times there's just a list of names of people that have found them, and you write your own name.
Okay.
Most of the ones we found were pretty well preserved. 1 or 2 of them had some leakage.
Yeah, sometimes they get leaky.
The tubes we found were actually they're typically used in labs to grow yeast for experiments.
We use match boxes, match containers. Those were real, or pill bottles.
Could I have some water?
No,
Okay.
no water for you, unless you're willing to lap it from a bowl, for the amusement of our viewers. No.
I may be a canine furry, but I prefer a cup.
Oh, you never lap water from a bowl? I do it all the time.
Thank you.
No, don't.
Have you ever seen a dog's tongue lap water in slow
It does
motion?
it backwards.
Yes, it's like
It curls.
It forms a backwards scoop, and they scoop the water into their mouth very rapidly. It's amazing.
I've not seen it in slow mo, so I haven't really...
I might insert a video of it at some point in this stream. I can do that.
Oh, did you hear that the
Actually,
the Mississippi State water supply had some sort of
I saw
bacteria
that
in it?
earlier. I laughed when I saw that.
I don't drink
you know.
Mississippi State's water. I mean, I drink the soda, but
They were like, it's not supposed to test any more than 1 sample per 12 of this bacteria, and it tested 2 this time. And then they retested everything, and and it passed again. And then they were like, you do not need to boil your water. Everything is okay.
System error happens.
Yeah, I mean, I drink water from it when I fill up my water bottles, you know.
Yeah.
But that's about
I just get new water bottles. I mean, water
Well,
isn't
I
that
meant my hard plastic.
But it's
green
bad for
one.
the environment. You're using up too much plastic.
You don't want to kill all of the animals.
I usually get a large water bottle and I reuse it for about a week.
I've got a
and then I get
filtered
another
one.
I don't like Starkville's water. I don't.
I
like
have a
the
filtered
taste of
water
Starkville.
bottle for it.
I mean, it's not fantastic, but
I
honestly,
want to get one of those filter pitchers. Those are really nice.
Starkville's water actually tastes better than a lot of bottled waters out there. Like Nestle and Dasani are just.
Should I get Kroger water?
Is it okay? If I wanted to, like Nestle water, it's like I just went out and dipped my bottle into a swimming pool and just started chugging. It's nasty.
Yeah, there's. Oh, you know how like you get all this natural spring water?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just mostly tap water from somewhere else. But I used to go to Sipsey Wilderness area during spring break, and we go on backpacking trips, and there's natural springs there. We have this little pump, and it's got a filter in it, and we would pump water through it and drink it. Well, there's no chemicals or anything in it. It's pure spring water, and after a week of drinking that, you come back and you drink any bottled water, it will taste like pool water. It'll taste like chlorine, is what it will taste like. Anyway, it'll taste like chlorine.
Have you seen The Straw of Life?
Oh.
There is a new, well, it's not, I just heard about it a few months ago, but someone apparently had told me that I was behind on the times since I had just heard of it. There is an invention called the Straw of Life, or it's either the Straw of Life or a life straw, forgive me. But it's a straw, big. It looks about like a pen, and it's got a very efficient filter inside. And you can go to pretty much any place, even some place with just really nasty, mucky, disgusting water, and you can stick this straw right in and drink. You can drink to your heart's content, and it'll be completely safe. They've used this. They've sent several of these over to a lot of third world countries that don't have clean drinking water, and have given these out so that people that have trouble finding clean drinking water, if they have to, they can use these on groundwater that they find, and it's pretty safe. It keeps it keeps the parasites and most harmful chemicals out.
That's good.
So that's good. Anyway.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I just thought it was nifty, Of course, I'm not, now drinking out of a mud puddle in my backyard is one thing, but I'm not necessarily going to go over to industrial China.
Toxic waste.
Yeah, and just, look at this lovely...
Let's go to this lake near Chernobyl.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't know if it'll protect against radiation.
Ergerd.
Oh yeah,
drink out of this
there is a lake near Chernobyl, and they said it is basically radioactive soup. Like it is so radioactive, and the problem is that there have been times when they said like a good massive earthquake, could like potentially like bust it open, and it would be a radioactive flood, and if it got into the drinking water,
No one would.
well, I mean, people would survive,
it
but I
just
mean, if you don't mind a few tumors on your kids.
Alright.
So.
It's like suddenly just like this weird, just mutated creature comes out.
Well,
of
I
the
mean, it's
lake.
not as bad as Yellowstone.
Spawn.
Yellowstone?
You should see some of the babies that were born after they used Agent Orange in South America. No, it wasn't South America. It was Vietnam. It was horrifying. Like two babies connected like at the belly button. Like it was just horrible.
I understand.
Yeah, it's not as bad as what we have brewing in the United States. I mean, we have Yellowstone. It could kill us all at any moment.
Yeah, there's a
super volcano.
Yellowstone National Park sits on top of a mega volcano. That's all those hot water geysers that you see. There's volcanic activity under the ground, and it's been building for quite a while. And technically, it could blow at any time. It's just will it blow tomorrow? Will it blow 2 centuries from now? We don't know. But, makes me a little nervous to go in that general direction because it would pretty much obliterate the state.
It would destroy the state, and it would actually, the ash cloud from it could destroy the economic, the
ecological.
The economic base of the South is still plants based.
Right.
It's still agricultural and forestry related.
And
it would kill all the plants.
And take into account the impending world hunger crisis. And yes, there is an impending world hunger crisis. At the rate that we're growing, our food production is not increasing at the rate that our population is. We're at some point in the near future, if we don't figure something out, some people are going to start getting really hungry, and it's either going to be let them die or fight them, or it's going to be war, basically. One of my favorite authors, James Rollins, he wrote a book with that as the theme, and he always scientifically cites his sources, and it's very, very good read. But anyway.
Yeah, we were talking about that in soils. Last semester I had to take soils, and it was talking about that the amount of food that's actually being grown right now is only enough to sustain a very small portion of the population of the earth. There's so many people already going hungry.
Yes.
That if we were to grow too much more, it would be catastrophic as far as the population. Not to mention, sickness will spread. That's the thing about populations is when they grow too much and there's not enough resources, sickness spreads, and then it becomes this catastrophic failure of the system. That happened in deer populations in Pennsylvania in the, I want to say 70s and 80s or something like that. I forget what it was, but it was a long time. It wasn't that long ago, but it was it was before my time, of course. But basically what happened was they banned hunting for 3 years in Pennsylvania, and deer populations skyrocketed, and then a bacterial disease spread through the deer population, basically extirpating the entire population of deer in Pennsylvania. Basically, they went locally extinct. And they had to import deer from Canada and other states in order to rebuild our population, and it's still not recovered to the full extent.
Nature requires predators for a reason. We are deer's predators. Right. One of the main ones anyway.
We've wiped out most. The thing is, we human beings are apex predator. We don't cougars, bears, bobcats, wolves, aggressive things like that. We don't like them in the same general areas as. We don't like them near our kids. So when we move into an area, we kill off everything that could potentially kill us. And, we become pretty much about the only predator in the area, the only apex predator in the area. Mm-hmm. If we're not doing, the predating, then nothing else is. The herbivores, like he said, the deer population is going to
get too big, which will
right.
ironically lead to them all dying. But it is true.
Despite their reputation in video games, wolves aren't overtly aggressive.
Oh, I know this. Though. I wasn't even focusing on that, but yes, I agree.
Wolfaboo!
You have been recently reintroduced.
I hate that commercial where there's that guy in the woods and he gets attacked by a bunch of wolves and then they run off and he's like, oh, wolf too. That's a stupid commercial because that would never happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Wolves don't just attack people.
Typically if a wolf attacks somebody, it's either sick or it's starving. Mm-hmm. Like any creature, they'll attack if you're desperate. Heck, if you were sick or starving and you hadn't eaten anything and you saw a wolf and you thought that you had a good chance of killing it, you'd probably attack it.
Yeah, if you're desperately hungry, you'll eat just about anything.
Can you blame the wolf if it looks at you the same way?
It looks at you like you look at that
I can understand, but I mean,
Right.
obviously, I'm not saying don't defend yourself, let it eat you. By no means, but I mean,
don't go
you
out
gotta
and
understand. You can't
mindlessly
say,
killing
"Oh,
things.
wolves are horrible creatures," because they're not.
There was that story recently in it came out of Russia. A grandmother, she got attacked by a wolf, and it latched onto her arm, and she took a hatchet. You know, like while I was gnawing on this arm, she just picked up a hatchet and she just killed the thing. I mean, stuff like that happens.
If you're under attack, I mean, obviously you got to defend yourself.
I mean, just saying that's the exception.
Yes, I agree with that. But downright just kill wolves because you think they're bad and you think they're a threat, no, that's not right.
They have been recently reintroduced into some of their natural range. The problem being most of their natural range is not covered in farms, and so there's actually a lot of fencing there, and they can't move as much as they used to be able to.
Now that's canines. Now cats, like cougars, tigers, lions, they can get a lot pissier.
That's because they're feline.
They're a lot.
They're not canine.
They're a lot moodier. They will, most creatures will avoid you, if you're in the area. But cats, if you get on their nerves enough, they won't run. They'll just bitch slap you with their claws and just put an end to it right
Well, it's because cats have those I'm God attitude.
Bitch
anyway.
Do they go, yeah.
Yeah. If you get bitch slapped by a Bengal tiger, you're not getting up.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that.
Oh, there was a guy, he was on the back of an elephant hunting a tiger, and I think it was already wounded, and they had cornered it in this thicket. It ran out of the thicket, leapt up onto the back of the elephant, and attacked him. The guy's on the back of a damn elephant. It's not afraid, and you push a tiger's gonna push back, motherfucker. But, okay, what you were saying about the disease?
Yeah.
That's another thing. All these superbugs that we have. Okay, people. I know hand sanitizer seems like a good idea. You think about all the nasty germs. Okay, the thing is, it's always good to wash your hands before a meal, but to use hand sanitizer or any sanitizer at all religiously, frequently, all you're doing is killing off everything that's weak enough for that to kill. And
then creating
stronger. Okay. Imagine, you have 1 million bacteria cells on a surface. One of those cells is very virulent, could potentially become, a deadly disease if it was allowed to multiply and spread. But because it's competing with all these other cells, it doesn't do that. But then you come along and you sanitize that surface. You wipe out all the competition. You've basically killed all its competition, and it's free then to spread and cover that surface with its own offspring. I know, the thing is, this has been going on for decades now because of our liberal use of sanitizers and disinfectants, and now we're getting
superbugs.
We've created super viruses, super bacteria, super viruses, super bugs that our antibiotics and medications can't touch. It's getting to where some of our antibiotics only work 50% of the time because 50% of the cases that come in are resistant.
And it's happening with insects too in crops. Right. With all the pesticides and crap we're using. Right. A lot of the insects are becoming, Right.
And there's only 2 or 3 facilities in the U.S. that are working on new antibiotics right now. Why? Because antibiotics are not profitable. It's more profitable for them for a cosmetics or a pharmaceutical company to research a treatment that you're going to have to use, 15 times. Than an antibiotic that you're going to take once and be once or twice and be done with.
Oh yeah.
So it's but eventually it's going to come a crisis. See, that might be what they're waiting for. They're like, yeah, we're going to wait until we've got people dropping left and right from
so that we can make a fortune off.
Yeah, so that then there'll be a massive scramble for antibiotics.
What I was what I was mentioning, my opinion on this whole disease thing is people who, well, and the whole population explosion thing, people who want to ban hunting, or people who, you know, don't support hunting. I don't know if you don't hunt yourself, but if you're like anti-hunting, you should not be able to get insurance on your vehicle for roadside, for collisions with animals. I don't think you should be able to get that, because you're obviously wanting more animals on the road to cause more accidents. So you should not get insurance for something that you don't support the, you know, control of.
Okay, now in fairness to the animals, not those people. In fairness to the animals, you know, we use with the way we lay down roads, we splice up the territory,
which is
and
also
to these little patchworks,
because then it splits up their habitat, and they, you know,
so like when
way to expand it across the road.
Now in some countries they've taken to building these massive bridges, like you know how you drive under, you know, like an interstate bridge.
However, those are what we call edge areas. I learned this is I'm a forestry major, so I had to take ecology and all this. This is what happens. You have this bridge where animals can cross. However, it becomes a predator highway. What happens is you get a localized group of predators in that area, and it becomes too dangerous for them to cross there anyway.
Well, if you have enough of them, you know, if you just have one or two, like I realize what you're saying, but I'm just...
You would have to have a lot of them, and that's just not. There's not a lot of them.
I know in certain Asian countries they've started putting rope bridges that span the treetops, so that monkeys and certain birds can cross without, you know, having to get down and go across the road.
That's interesting.
So
yeah,
those are.
But yeah, a lot of those ones tend to be predator traps. And what happens is you get this edge area, and research edge as an ecological term. You'll find that people in hunting camps love edge because it draws in a lot of biodiversity, but it also brings in predators, and what it becomes is what's called a population sink, where the population of your animals, your predator population skyrockets, and what happens is the external area is producing these animals, and then they're going to the edge to feed, and then they're getting eaten on a scale that they can't keep up with, that the environment can't keep up with, and it happens all the time. People don't take into consideration that, and then, you know, they may have good hunting for like 3 years, and then they'll have nothing.
With the way we grab land and we split it up, we have these nature preserves, but most of them are so small and isolated, they don't do a lot of actual good. It's better if you had a choice between one big massive preserve or 10 smaller preserves. The one big massive preserve is actually better. Because certain animals, especially a lot large animals, predatory animals, they need a certain range, and they cannot exist inside one of those 10 small preserves. But if you have a large preserve, you can at least have a small population of larger animals. So that's always better. But see,
but yeah, if you're like anti-hunting, I don't think you deserve any insurance money from your car insurance if you hit a deer on the road. That was TJ actually texting. Let's see what he said.
Because hunters are the one who keep the population low enough that they're not a problem, but also keep them from eventually going extinct too. We're the ones who keep them in balance. I said hunters are the ones who keep the population low enough that's not a problem, but we're also the ones who keep them in existence. We're the ones who keep them in balance.
Right. I mean, you know, like I said, that's for herbivores. That's true. You know, like I said, but
that's mainly what I'm referring to.
Yeah, but the
especially
apex
deer.
The apex predators, like we're hard on.
Yeah, I agree.
The bears,
I don't
the
like.
wolves.
Yeah, I don't like how I kill them off because I mean, like, it's especially with like rattlesnakes and whatnot. Especially rattlesnakes, people just go killing them.
Yeah,
just to get rid of them
they're
because
talking
they
about
view them
putting
as a pest, which they're not. they're a very important predator.
They're talking about putting the eastern diamondback on the endangered species list because of the rattlesnake roundups.
Which is just wrong on so many levels, in my opinion.
Yeah, basically what they do is they catch a bunch of snakes and by gassing them, first of all, you're introducing gasoline to the soil, which is contaminating it. Mm-hmm. They gas them out of burrows, and then they catch them as they're disoriented, put them in a giant bin, and then they kill them. And then it's just like, you know, why? It's a spectator sport, and it's, you know. And, you know, these rattlesnake roundups are getting less and less snakes every year because they're killing and it's just, and people will, you know, eat them or whatever, but you can't go out and kill off like half the population and then expect, you know, to have more, you know.
The balance to be maintained.
I'm not sure they're necessarily wanting them to stay around, though.
That's the problem.
It seems like they want to be rid of them because they view them as a pest. They don't realize they're a very important predator. By no means would they necessarily want to stay around, you know, a dangerous snake,
when the 90% of our food that has wheat in it decides that, you know, when the wheat crop fails and we have no food, you can kiss like so many different foods goodbye if wheat fails. And guess what? The main issue with wheat is. It's not insects, it's rats, it's rodents. And guess what the main predator of rodents is?
Oh, I wonder.
Could it be?
Snakes!
Never! It could never be snakes.
It's snakes.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of animals. Like, I have no problem with snakes and bats and stuff, you know, all that. One thing I do not like, though, are spiders. I don't like spiders. However, guess what? I leave them alone. I don't go killing them. Now, if I see them inside our room, like indoors, you know, I'll go ahead and kill them because that's not where they're supposed to be, you know. But if I see them out in the woods, you know, in their environment, I'll leave them alone, you know. I won't mess with them. Sometimes I'll even just sit there and watch them, you know.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem killing mosquitoes, and I don't have a problem killing fire ants. And the reason I don't have a problem killing fire ants is because they're invasive.
They're not even native here. Yeah, so, yeah, they have no significance.
They came from Southern America.
Yeah, that's an exception. If they're invasive, they don't belong here. That's completely understandable. But if they're native here and they're an important part,
and I don't have a problem
like
killing
snakes,
Chinese privet.
Those aren't native here either?
No, actually, well,
are they?
I don't know. I don't think it is native, but it's been here a while.
It has.
It's like the fire.
But it does take over.
Yes.
What happens is, it gets here, a tree will fall in the forest, and then Chinese privet, it likes disturbed areas, and so it'll grow there, and then it'll start like expanding outwards. And it'll just keep growing until it's a tangled mess, and it'll just take over and choke everything else out. Yeah, ligustrum sinus.